Today, let's talk about one of the best personal finance books out there, The Psychology of Money. In this book, author Morgan Housel helps you handle your money better and make smarter financial choices. He explains how your thoughts and feelings can help or hurt your finances, which helps humanize personal finance. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you to like and subscribe to our channel for more personal finance and investing content. And if you're new, leave a comment below letting us know that you subscribed. So, lesson number 1. Theory isn't reality. Sitting down and learning or being open-minded doesn't quite capture the real feeling of fear and uncertainty. We're not just numbers on a page. Books might tell us about past events, like market crashes or how stocks generally rise, but living through these events is a whole different story. So, take caution. You might believe you'll hold onto your stocks during a big market drop because you know selling at the lowest point isn't wise. But it's only when you face that situation that you'll truly understand your reaction. Lesson number 2. Luck and risk. Sometimes we tend to believe our financial outcomes solely depend on our choices, but that's not always true. Good decisions might lead to bad results, and bad decisions might bring good outcomes due to luck and risk. To avoid overemphasizing individual effort, be careful when admiring or judging other people. Luck might have helped those who are successful, while risks may have impacted those less fortunate. Look beyond individuals and focus on bigger trends. It's hard to copy individual success, but you can tap into broader patterns, so focus on the big picture and not just one successful person you know. Just because something worked out for Warren Buffett doesn't mean it'll work out for you. And just because something didn't work out for him doesn't mean it won't work out for you. Most importantly, know that luck plays a big role in success. Acknowledge it and understand that risk means forgiving ourselves. When things go wrong, be kind to yourself. The world's uncertain, and sometimes it's not your fault if things don't go as planned. Now that we've brought Warren Buffett up, we might as well talk about all that guy has taught us. Lesson number 3. Buffett's Pearls of Wisdom. There is no reason to risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need. Warren Buffett. Setting goals can feel like chasing a moving target. You reach one, then immediately aim for the next. It's a cycle that never seems to stop. This often happens because we compare ourselves to others, especially those ahead of us in the ladder we use as our benchmark. In the money game, there will always be someone with more, and that's all right. Wanting more money is okay, but be cautious. Avoid taking big risks that put what you already have in jeopardy for something you don't necessarily need. As I write this, Warren Buffett's net worth is $84.5 billion. Of that, $84.2 billion was accumulated after his 50th birthday. $81.5 billion came after he qualified for Social Security in his mid-60s. The Psychology of Money. Moving on to number 4, getting money versus keeping money. Making money and holding on to money need two different skills. The Psychology of Money says getting money requires taking risks, being optimistic, and putting yourself out there. But keeping money requires the opposite of taking risk. It requires humility and fear that what you've made can be taken away from you just as fast. It requires frugality and an acceptance that at least some of what you've made is attributable to luck. So past success can't be relied upon to repeat indefinitely. So yeah, making money means taking risks, working hard, and staying positive. But keeping money is all about reducing risks, not being greedy, and knowing that you might lose what you have at any time. Now for Lesson 5. Cash is not the enemy. A plan is only useful if it can survive reality. And a future filled with unknowns is everyone's reality. The Psychology of Money. If you're young and earn more than you spend, putting most of your money in low-cost index funds can be a smart long-term investment. Keeping a lot of cash isn't great because its value drops with inflation, while stocks historically grow by 6 to 7% a year. But here's the thing. Our emotions matter. Say you're mostly in stocks, and the market suddenly drops. Having only a small bit of cash might make you panic and sell stocks. That's what happened to the author of this book in 2020. And it was a costly mistake. It made him rethink his investment strategy. People aren't just numbers. Even if models say to keep only a small cash portion, having more cash, like 10 to 20%, could protect you from panicking during tough times. If it stops you from making a big mistake, it could be the best move. Lesson 6. Long tails. Long tails, the farthest ends of a distribution of outcomes, have tremendous influence in finance, where a small number of events can account for the majority of outcomes. The psychology of money. Most days, the investment choices you make don't have a big impact. It's the decisions you make during significant events, like a big market drop or a booming market. Warren Buffett, for instance, has owned hundreds of stocks, but he made most of his money from just a handful, around 10 of them. To learn more about Warren Buffett's investment strategy, check out the link to the video in the description. If you're enjoying everything you're watching so far, please make sure to like and subscribe. Lesson number 7. The highest form of wealth. The ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want, is priceless. It is the highest dividend money pays. The psychology of money. Having the freedom and the time for yourself is worth much more than pushing for an extra 2% in returns by working late or taking risky bets that mess with your free time for little to no reward. Lesson 8. Ferraris don't generate respect. Sometimes people buy big houses and flashy cars to get respect and admiration from others. But here's the thing. People don't admire the person who owns these things. Instead, they admire the things themselves and imagine having them. Trying to buy respect and admiration through fancy stuff doesn't work because those things can't buy real admiration. Which brings me to another important point. Lesson 9. Being rich versus being wealthy. Having a high income makes you rich, but true wealth isn't so obvious. Wealth isn't about what you show. It's the money you have but haven't spent yet. It's the ability to decide when and how to use it in the future. Being rich gives immediate choices, but wealth offers long-term freedom. It's about having more choices down the road, more time, freedom, and things you desire. If you want true financial freedom, then the best move for you would be to aim to be wealthy, not just look rich. All right, now let's talk about Lesson 10, the optimal portfolio. The best portfolio is one that lets you sleep peacefully. It balances good returns with a great quality of life and control. It stays strong even during tough times like recessions. Many academic views on ideal portfolios, misconsidering human factors that might lead you to change your strategy. Which brings us to our next lesson. Lesson number 11, leave room for error. To thrive in the long term, it's crucial to allow room for mistakes. This buffer helps you navigate through different outcomes, giving you a chance to benefit from unlikely events that might work in your favor. A common oversight in planning for errors is understanding the difference between what you can handle in theory and what you can handle emotionally. For instance, imagine having enough savings to last 2 years without a job. You might confidently pursue your dreams, but as you start using a portion of those savings, say 30%, you might begin feeling anxious, affecting your emotional well-being. This emotional aspect can heavily influence decisions, even if you have a substantial financial safety net remaining. Failing to consider your emotional capacity in your plans might lead to less than ideal situations, prompting you to abandon your goals prematurely. Lesson number 12. The difficulty of long-term financial planning. Sometimes we underestimate how much our personalities and goals will change over time. This makes long-term financial planning tricky. For example, when we're young, we might not anticipate having kids or owning a big house, so our plans might not consider these changes. But later in life, we might find ourselves with a family and a home that our initial plan didn't include. So, when planning your investment strategy, it's wise to consider the unexpected. And then, when something unexpected does happen, don't panic, don't make yourself go crazy, just take some time to gather your thoughts, research your next move extremely carefully, and then do what you have to do. Lesson 13. The price of investing. Like everything else worthwhile, successful investing demands a price, but its currency is not dollars and cents. It's volatility, fear, doubt, uncertainty, and regret, all of which are easy to overlook until you're dealing with them in real time. The psychology of money. Choosing to invest and grow your wealth comes with a hidden cost: the unpredictable ups and downs of the market. It's the uncertainty and occasional fear that come when market conditions change. If you're actively involved in investing, you have to be ready for this. The best way to handle this market fee is to acknowledge it and be ready to pay it. You've got to be prepared for the ups and downs and accept that volatility and uncertainty are part of the investment journey. Now let's talk about our last lesson. Lesson 14. What game are you playing? Few things matter more with money than understanding your own time horizon and not being persuaded by the actions and behaviors of people playing different games than you are. The psychology of money. If your friend's quick money through short-term options sparks the fear of missing out in you, pause and consider if it matches your goals. If you prefer a steady, long-term approach over 20 years with passive investing, jumping into your friend's game might not align with your strategy. You could make gains, but think about the potential costs. Remember, there is no easy money. You're not going to get rich overnight. You need to take it slow and steady and keep educating yourself. What's the best lesson that you learned today? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video on lessons about money from the book, The Psychology of Money. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more personal finance and investing-related content. Here's to becoming rich and financially free.